I'm Méganne and happy to be here. It's been a while and here we are. Lots going on in this world. Season 2023 has been fascinating to say the least. Now, one of the best ways to figure out what's going on in the world is through the Daily Mail. So I thought we might just go through the Daily Mail and see what's going on in the world. And no, we are not being sponsored by the Daily Mail, but let me tell you who we are being sponsored by. And that's Replenish. Okay. Yes. Replenish. This is what they look like in the package. You get 10 of these in the box and you just add it to water. They're vitamins for dogs and they've got a really cool chicken broth flavor. So with real chicken broth, actually. And as we all know, dogs that are active need more than just water, right? So Replenish definitely provides that little extra oomph for your active canine. I think it's a wonderful product, although I cannot sample it right now. I know I'm a human being, but looked at the ingredients. None of the ingredients can hurt me, so I thought I would sample it, but I am on a cleanse at the moment. So let's find out what's going on in the world via our favorite publication with the sensationalistic news. And they do that so well. There's like this really important headline going on today that I think we should talk about, and that's Alec Baldwin. Yeah, have you guys heard? They've dropped all the charges that he was facing on Rust. Let me show you the headline. All right. Let's go. Right here. Look at this. Breaking news. Wait. Okay, breaking news. I owe everything I have to this woman. Alec Baldwin credits his wife, Hilaria. Oh, after involuntary manslaughter charges dropped, as new evidence shows, the weapon could have been fired without him pulling the trigger, directly contradicting the FBI. Rust charges dropped. That's what it says right here. All right, let's get rid of this. See that? Dropped. Can I ask you all a question? How is it possible that one can contradict the FBI? I didn't know that was possible because I know they're in a fact, evidentiary, evidence gathering kind of a government entity. And let's see what happened. So he owes everything to his wife, Hilaria. You owe your 6, 7, however many kids you have to her as well. And her fake Spanish accent. Come on, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talked about it. I'm not going to let it go. I cannot let it go. Why would you fake an accent? What's that about? Why would you fake an accent? Why are you not happy with the way that you normally speak? Is it because you sound like you're from Boston? You'd rather hide that? I don't know. I think it's strange someone would confect a whole affectatious accent. That's weird to me. Anyway, so Baldwin discovered today that 2 involuntary manslaughter charges against him over the October 2021 of Helena Hutchins have been dropped. So his lawyers, Replenish and Alec Baldwin, told the Daily Mail, "We are pleased with the decision to dismiss the case against Alec Baldwin, and we encourage proper investigation into the facts and circumstances of the tragic accident." So, and you know what's interesting about this whole thing? So now they've moved the filming from New Mexico, where the incident occurred, to Montana, and they're continuing with the filming. And here's what they're saying: that the armorer will still face charges. So she's not off the hook. Hannah Gutierrez Reed is still facing charges against her. Yeah. So here's what they're saying about the weapon in question. They're saying here that the weapon was modified, and which means that it could be fired without pulling the trigger. The FBI rubbished Baldwin's claim that he did not pull the trigger. So in layman's terms, rubbish means the FBI thought it was garbage. It, would not believe Alec's claim that he did not pull the trigger. But the source said the arm was modified before it reached the set to allow it to fire a bullet without the trigger being pulled. Could you believe that? Our own governmental entity with the 3 letters starting with an F, ending with an I. I can say FBI, I can say it. I don't know why I didn't say it. They did not find that to be true, but we're using some other means of figuring out that it was, I don't understand, I need more details. And hopefully we get more details, because this is incomplete to me. This is incomplete. Not that I wanted him to be charged or anything, but I just don't understand how, I don't know. I guess it's because he's not the most likable person. I think that's what it is. It's really hard to let go of him not being, charged, I suppose. Not that I didn't think that something, I just at least wanted him to get off, not off, but, he certainly didn't want to unalive this person, obviously. But definitely want to make sure that somebody gets charged for that. So this is Elena. Elena. So sad. So what's interesting is that Helena's husband reached a settlement with Baldwin, right? And it's sealed. And part of that agreement, and in the stipulation, it says that Hutchins will serve as executive producer on the film. And there will be no further recriminations. Yeah. But in January, Hutchins' family said they supported Baldwin being charged with involuntary manslaughter, but I don't know. They might be disappointed now. So Baldwin last Thursday filed a motion that another lawsuit filed by the Hutchins parents and sister to be thrown out, because they were claiming that they had been distanced from her physically, financially, and emotionally for years. Oh, this is what he's claiming, that they had been distanced from her physically, financially, and emotionally for years before she perished, right? Although they were saying that, she was responsible for them financially, like she often took care of them financially, and he's saying that that's not true. So obviously they're going to look into that. But here is Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the armorer. According to her, she didn't have that much experience when she started. But I'd always wondered, surrounding this whole situation, I've always wondered what was going on. Because if you remember, at the time, there was a strike. So I've always wondered if something untoward may have happened that shouldn't have happened, sort of to make a point. I don't know. But I think it's definitely an interesting turn of events that this arm, this weapon was modified. That's different. That's not something that I've heard before. So that's that. Now let's look at other stories going on in the Daily Mail. Look at him and his family. Wow. Okay. No. Okay, let's see this. It says Kim Kardashian shows off her bare face to reveal the secret to her dewy glam using SKKN, I guess, skin products. A makeup artist for 15 years. Do you want to? No, we don't. We don't want to talk about it. Oh, so Biden 80 to announce his run for president on Tuesday. White House aides are planning to release video confirming 2024 campaign. I've talked about this before. That is a generation that is holding on to dear life. I don't want them to expire. No, it's not what I want. But I find that it's good to not be a quitter. But at some point, could you just retire? Could you just, what's sad? There are all these grandchildren out there in the world that are not benefiting from their grandparents. Why? Because their grandparents are too busy not grandparenting. They're too busy out there being 80 and running for president, being 80 and still the CEO of some sort of corporation, being 80 and still running around jobbing it, right? And when, I don't have that problem, but imagine if I had children and I needed a grandparent to take care, I wouldn't be able to find one. I would not be able to find one. They're so busy doing so many other things and not grandparenting. Have you noticed that? I've noticed it. They've said, it used to be that at least you could send your children to the grandparents and they'd have them all summer or whatever. And that's not the case for many folks nowadays. Grandparents have activities. They've got friends. They're going to, nudist colonies or whatever. I'm exaggerating, but it just seems like they're not as available as they used to be. And that's a shame. It's a damn shame. So, yeah. Let's just take a look at what 80 looks like. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah. This is, yeah. Let's give a gander. This is 18, my friends. And this is not your regular 80. Let me say this. When he first ran, I felt like his skin was a little tight, allegedly, But I think his, So this is not even the normal 80. This is an 80 that was tightened right before the first campaign. All right? So this is not what we're going to be left with at the end of his term. I'm just saying, purely logistically speaking, I know I'm being a little bit surfaced about it, but just let go, people. It's all right. It's all right to let go at 80. It's all right to sit in a rocking chair. It's all right. Look at me. I can do it. Look at me. I'm in a rocking chair. I'm not 80. I don't feel old. Look. Rocking chairs are very, very soothing. You don't have to be old to use one. But y'all can do that. Sit in a rocking chair. I don't know. Make some muffins, something. Go on the green, see, play some golf, travel a little bit, whatever. That's what you can do in your old age. Enjoy it. And take care of the grandchildren every now and again. I mean, come on. Just every now and again. All right, so now look, what else is going on? So we've got that going on. What else? Let's see. We're looking through all the headlines. Okay, no, we don't want to talk about this. What? He's a good guy, Scarlett Johansson giggles when questioned about first husband Ryan Reynolds, as Gwyneth Paltrow admits she forgot they were an item. They were married? Wait a minute. Scarlett Johansson was taken. Hold on. I hate these ads. Scarlett Johansson was taken on a trip down memory lane as she was quizzed about her first husband, Ryan Reynolds. They were married? Did you people know this? They were married? These people were married? Hold on. He's a good guy. Scarlett Johansson giggles when questioned about first husband, Ryan Reynolds, as Gwyneth Paltrow admits she forgot they were an item and calls their marriage goals. What? Okay, can I just say something? As somebody who's not from this country, I'm sorry, I just find that a lot of the marriages are for a green card, allegedly. That's my opinion. We know that Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, right? And I'm inclined to believe that this union could have been to make sure that he could, I don't know, stay in the country and continue acting, all right? Because I don't remember them being together. I don't remember it at all. Maybe people look at that. Oh, hold on. No, that's not him. I mean, that's not Ryan Reynolds. That's her present husband. Oh, I had no idea that they were together. That's news to me. But he's with Blake Lively, as we all know. And he's got the Wrexham football team. Soccer, as you know it. Yeah? Did you all know that? Yeah. So that tells me he's got a lot of money. This is Scarlett Johansson. So we can move on. I just thought that was interesting because I had no idea. I do want to talk about something else pertaining to animals in particular. There was this story that I thought was really interesting All right, one of the things that people don't really realize, and I think this is an important one. Okay, so we've all heard of Free Willy. Now, what they're saying is, unlike Free Willy, when animals are released into the wild, it doesn't always have a happy ending. So it says, animal rights activists rejoiced last week when the Miami Seaquarium, a marine park, announced it would release its orca to a sea pen off the coast of Washington state. But unlike Free Willy, the story is unlikely to have a Hollywood ending, is what they're saying. Animal rights activists who generally oppose zoos and aquariums have argued that animals such as orcas should be released to the wild, or at minimum to an enclosure away from the public that functions like a halfway house. It's an appealing sentiment that tugs at the heartstrings, but the challenges are immense. They're saying here, putting an orca back into the wild has been attempted once before. The 1993 movie Free Willy inspired animal activists to seek the return of Keiko, the whale featured in the movie, to the North Atlantic, where he had been taken in 1979. So the activists' efforts were successful. Millions of dollars were raised, and Keiko was moved from a marine park in Mexico to an aquarium in Oregon for preparation. After 2 years, he was airlifted to Iceland in a military plane and put in a sea pen, later to be released into the ocean, the open ocean. Unfortunately, Keiko didn't do well in his new environment. He never joined a wild orca pod and continually sought humans. After all, humans had showered him with attention. See, that's the thing. And food for years. As a result, Keiko sadly died in a remote cove in Norway from pneumonia. His release was widely recognized as a failure. Nature, as they say, is not Disney. So they're saying blinding releasing killer whales to the wild is irresponsible and dangerous. So activists who favor releasing animals from human care often note that orcas can swim hundreds of miles a day in the wild, or that elephants might walk dozens of miles a day, distances they can't cover in a marine facility or a zoo. This is used as evidence that zoological facilities can't meet animal needs. But at the end of the day, but in fact, proof states that it's the opposite. Animals in the wild move huge distances because they are searching for scarce food or avoiding predators. If you weren't living in modern America, you also might walk miles every day to get food and water. I agree. Behavior akin to our hunter-gatherer ancestors. So, I mean, bottom line is this. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. You can't have an animal in the wild used to human touch. And you know how we are. We see a cute animal, we pet it, we give it lots of love, we tell it how beautiful it is. And then what happens? It goes into the wild. It's not going to get the same kind of treatment. It's going to miss it. And that's exactly what happened. Keiko missed that attention. The same way that while we were locked up for 2 years, some people, who did not have people around them craved human touch. And that's the same thing that happens to animals. So the idea that you can have them in pens for many, many years and then decide to let them go is not going to work. I think ideally, if they are injured, we should be able to administer to them as little contact as possible, just enough to get them better, but not giving them all this human attention that they would never get in the wild. I think one needs to decide that when we do get these pups, babies, injured animals, wild animals, to minimize human touch if we are intending to let them go into the wild. I think there needs to be a different protocol, period. So that's it, I think that's all we're going to talk about for today. And do you guys like my little greenhouse, my little thing there? hopefully that'll make some people happier. Somebody said that my background was sucky, whatever. But yes, anyway, so it was nice to be here again, and I'm happy to have been able to give you a little bit of what's going on in the world. Season 2023. I wanted to give a little bit something a little bit more light. Let's not finish on that note. There's one thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is, I actually like this. I think it's an important thing. So a New Zealand flight attendant talks about how to pack when you travel. And since we are approaching summer, I think this is important. All right. Oh, look at Keanu Reeves and his girlfriend, Alexandra. Yeah. Is that what her name is? What her name? Anyway. So she says, oh, it's a he. It's the flight attendant. It's a he, sorry. 10 things every traveler should have in their carry-on for a long-haul flight. Ben Watman has been working in the air for almost a decade. Here's what he says. "10 things. Lip balm. I agree. Eye spray. I agree. Clear white lens cleaner. Okay. Face mist. Definitely agree. AirPods Pro. All right. Chargers and cables. Yes. 12 South Airfly. No idea what that is. Notepad and pens. Okay. Spot remover. For sure. Zip up travel wallet. So them's the things you put in your carry-on, people. And do you want to know why? Let me tell you why. You have them things. You lose your luggage. And also, I would add a pair of pajamas, a traveling toothbrush, and small size little monster, like little things that you absolutely need. And if it's like medication, things like that you need, you should put out, you should have it in your carry-on. Your medication should be in your carry-on. In case they lose your luggage, at least your carry-on will have pajamas, one outfit, right? That could be modified, and a sweater, and a pair of like slippers or, you know, bendable shoes or something like that. So you at least have one outfit, and you have like your essentials, your medication, and the things that we've enumerated just right there before. All right, and that's it. That's all I've got to say for today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Weekend. This is Friday. You'll see this on Friday. So weekend. All right. So thank you. I'm Méganne. I'm really happy to have been here. All right.